Good evening, my cherished settlers. I bid you gather close, for today we embark on a momentous journey that will finalize the very fabric of our community. As your lady, it is my duty to ensure our prosperity, and I am pleased to announce our plans to strengthen our meat production through our livestock. This endeavor shall not only provide us with sustenance, but also enrich our lives in ways we have yet to imagine. With the introduction of sheep to our pastures, we shall cultivate a source of fine meat and wool. These gentle creatures will grace our fields, their presence a testament to our commitment to self-sufficiency and abundance. Imagine the hearty feast we shall enjoy and the warmth of woolen garments to shield us from the chill. By nurturing these animals, we shall ensure that no belly goes hungry in Namatine, and our tables shall overflow with the bounty of our land. But dear friends, our ambitions do not end here. As we strengthen our production capabilities, we must also turn our attention to the future of our territory. I call upon you all to gather for a settlement meeting where we shall discuss the location of our next territory. This is a matter of great importance, for the land we choose will shape the destiny for generations to come. Bring forth your ideas, your dreams, and your visions for what lies ahead. Shall we seek fertile fields and promise abundant harvests, or perhaps venture towards the wealth of weapon production? Each voice matters, and together we shall weigh the merits of each option, ensuring that our decision reflects the will of the people. Let us come together as one community, united in purpose and spirit, to forge a path that will lead us to greater heights. The future of Namatine is bright, and with your wisdom and courage, we shall build a legacy that will endure through the ages. So, gather your thoughts and prepare to share, for the time has come to shape our destiny together. Heyo and welcome to another episode of Build and Battle Season 3, where we will build a beautiful medieval city while battling off famine, mutiny, and the bitter cold. In the last episode, we began mining deep by taking our deep mining development point, began our clay roof tile production, and completed East Namatine's residential neighborhood. So if you happen to miss the last episode, then click on the info card above, or if you're looking for a new Manor Lords series to binge watch, then check out the entire Build and Battle Season 3 playlist located in the description below. In this episode, we will introduce sheep breeding to our meat production as a result of our recent poll. Specifically, we will build the Livestock Farm, Livestock Trading Post, and we will introduce wool into East Namatine's production lines to trade with Old Namatine for further production, because why not? Be sure, however, to tune in until the end of today's episode, as we will be announcing the poll for our next territory. Will we begin making oodles of gold with weapon production, end our starvation in Old Namatine with a new farming territory, or bolster our population with a medieval suburbia? For a lack of a better way to try to describe what I'm thinking. So are you enjoying Build and Battle Season 3? If so, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you're most excited to see in the upcoming episodes. If you can't wait to see the season unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to the videos. And don't miss out on our Build and Battle Season 3 merchandise linked in the description below. Alrighty, I'm wicked excited to start today's build and get our poll up and running for our next territory. So grab your beverage of choice, kick back, and please enjoy. So today we're going to start our constructions by developing our sheep breeding production line, as this was the winner in our recent poll over on the YouTube community tab. So this will provide us a couple of additional production lines here in East Namatine that we will be taking advantage of. So let's start with the livestock farm itself. With sheep breeding, we will produce lambs, and if the lambs are not immediately shipped off to the butchers, they will grow into sheep. From the sheep, we will then have the capabilities to produce wool and then yarn. We will produce both of these in East Namatine, however, the production line will end there as we will export the yarn to Old Namatine. Yes, I know this isn't the most efficient method for our gold coffers, so I may play around with the pack station. Ultimately, I just want the territories to work together to produce goods with each other, and specializing in their own production lines. For Old Namatine, these are luxury goods, as it is our capital territory. Anywho, moving on to our second production line, sheep will also provide us meats and hides. The hides can immediately go to our tannery to be turned into leather and then shipped off to Old Namatine, as this is a production line we already set up a few episodes ago. The sheep will also then be slaughtered at a second butcher's that has been upgraded off camera and then produced into sausage for export. So yeah, honestly, great poll, everyone. Sheep breeding really is a powerhouse development point with multiple production lines that can benefit from it at a rather cheap cost, given that the perk really only has itself and no prerequisites. So let's come on in and let's take that development point. So let's speak of our construction plans for our livestock farm. I am going to place all the production lines right up here on this hill, as it one has ample space for the pasture, and 2, we can set the production lines up honestly sort of like a line, with the farm and pasture off in the back and the wool and yarn closer to the King's Road. We will not build additional burgage plots up here, as I do not want East Namatine to have a large population, as it is, after all, really far from the main capital city, so it seems to me more like a rural area when you're kind of looking at it in that method. We will also place an additional storage house and granary up here to keep our production lines efficient and our shepherds focusing on the sheep instead of transporting the goods for storage. We don't need a large one, so one small of each granary and storage unit I think should be just enough. Next, we need to import the sheep, and honestly, I see no reason why not to just move a few sheep around our existing territories that already have the sheep breeding perk. So we will start by constructing our livestock trading post, and then we will come into Central Namatine and set up a short-term trade between the two districts to get a few sheepies over to East Namatine so they can start breeding and get our production lines up and running. Alrighty everyone, so it's time to start discussing our next territory, and I figured why not come together and vote for the next settlement together. But before you head over to the YouTube community tab, let's discuss the tentative plans behind each option. Our first option is to take Zwoo. Okay, I'm confident I do not know how to pronounce that. This territory has phenomenal fertility and is the furthest territory from our capital city of Old Namatine. Therefore, we would not grow a large population and would probably only acquire about 3 development points max in this territory. With these 3 development points, we would probably invest in sheep breeding, heavy plowing, and fertilization. After creating a self-sustaining farming community, we would export our bread, beer, and linen throughout the rest of Greater Namatine area. The next territory is Imenruth, where we would make a mega million gold exporting weapon neighborhood sort of territory. Since this territory is close to Old Namatine, we would have a larger population with more development. Therefore, by the end of our constructions, we will have acquired a full 6 development points, which I would invest in charcoal burning, deep mines, basic armor making, advanced armor making, and master armor making. We are playing a Rise to Prosperity game at the moment, and thus we actually don't need any of these resources to protect ourselves against the bandits or the Baron. So we would trade them to the NPCs kind of off the map. Therefore, we could either invest our last development point into trade logistics to cut the price in half, or we could hold on to these for what the developers release throughout our early access of the game. Because again, it is close to Old Namatine, and we did extend the manor wall in Central Namatine, kind of close to this territory, this would also be a enclosed area, so kind of a part of that manor wall, larger section that I was trying to fuse some of these territories together with. Our final territory in this poll is Selbitz. This would actually be an attempt to aesthetically create a foraging suburbia. Just like in Imenruth, we could probably acquire all 6 development points, but I leave it to the community to comment in the poll on what development points specifically you think would be best. Should our suburbia have a large, sprawling apple orchards, sheepies running amok in small pastures producing wool and luxury garments? Or perhaps we have a community of artisans bolstering our trade routes. But for now, everyone, I think that will wrap up today's episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on today's build. If you're excited to see the next episode unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to the videos. And don't forget to check out our Build and Battle Season 3 merchandise linked in the description below. Until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.